If you did just two things, you were always positive about everything in your life, and you were always mindful about what you're going to do next. Those two things would be absolutely huge. And those are two things that are 100% within our power to do. One really good way to be positive about life is to focus on things that are lighthearted. Maybe it's a game, maybe it's your favorite animal or pet, maybe it's just enjoying nature. Whatever it is that makes you stop thinking that everything is serious. I'm saying you gamify your life. You start thinking of the challenges as fun. You stop looking at life as an insurmountable problem. But one thing you can't do if you want to be positive is surround yourself with sources of negative energy. People who compare themselves to other people, always measuring up and making you want to measure up. People who have fun bantering about what's wrong with the world, gossiping about what bad things other people have done. It's all that useless water cooler talk that brings us down. In the moment, it feels fun. But negative stuff is like the sugary junk drinks of our society. When you surrender those things and let go of them, it helps. One good way to let go of some of it is to just get rid of social media networks like Facebook. You don't need them. You aren't tempted to dwell on negative things when you just stop tuning in. And that leads me to the other big point of my video. Know what you're going to do next. Be mindful in what you're doing. Always have a plan. That doesn't mean you don't change it. It doesn't mean you're not flexible. It just means you don't go into idle mode, wasting hours of your life on meaningless filler. Cut out the scrolling, the constant checking of your phone again, the random consumption of whatever the next YouTube video in your recommended list is. Know what you're doing now and what you're going to do next. Be flexible, but be deliberate. And whatever you're doing, do it with a good attitude. The truth is, this stuff isn't hard. It's just a decision, a choice. It's being willing to venture out past the addiction to time wasting and negativity and give something else a chance. Finally, I'm going to talk about how long it takes to change. The truth is, it doesn't take any time at all. It's just a choice. You hit bottom. You decide you're done with something. You move on. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock in Star Trek, once said something that I really, really love. He said that I have died many times, sometimes more than once in a single day. Every time that I have given up on my old self and decided to be something new. That's really all it is. But you've got to get to the point where you stop being on the fence and actually mean business about changing your life. Usually we have those realizations when we hit a wall not of our own choosing. When something crazy happens and we have a wake-up call that forces us to adapt. But we don't have to let it come to that. We can change just because we are rational beings and we want to. The other nice thing about all this is that you start to get returns by being mindful and positive without needing to do anything drastic. You don't have to go seek blessings. You just stop being a barrier to the ones you already have. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, the fittest. You just stop wasting the resources you have. You stop raining on your own parade. And you accept that the universe will find a way to bring joy into your life. As soon as you accept that joy is something you already have within. Now, to share a bit of my personal story, I decided one day that I was going to completely shut down my Facebook account. I did this because I realized that people are always bragging and boasting and virtue signaling and trying to make people think that their lives are really good and trying to hide their flaws. And I realized that my life was filled with temptation to continually scroll through all of this stuff. And I had this sense that because I have a few hundred people on Facebook, these are my friends and I don't want to lose them because I have this connection. But after a few months of not having a Facebook account, I realized I didn't actually lose anything at all. The truth is that our technology-driven society today tends to sell us the lie of a promise of connection without requiring any commitment. It promises to give us the opportunity to learn instantly without having to study. It promises us relationships without having to actually be serious about them or even be present for them at all. And so we get addicted to the scrolling and the chasing of this promise so much that we lose sight of the beauty of reality. And by the same measure, to speak of the power of change, I would also look back on a time when I used to spend a lot of money I didn't need to spend, and I wasted a lot of money. And then there was a time when I actually struggled. And I realized that I didn't have any more credit cards to spend, and I didn't have any more ways to avoid facing reality. And there was that moment when I actually changed. And as soon as I did, my life was never the same. And I started to be frugal and more mindful, and I started to go on a new path. You can change. A lot of things you're afraid to give up, you can. And you'll be just fine. Embrace the blessings in your life. They are abundant. They are everywhere around you. Thank you for watching.